Truths podcast. I'm your Jose, along with my guy, Young Vander, bringing you the truth unapologetically as we see it. Today's show had some breaking news that just basically going to kind of take over the show. We were already going to bring you your fantasy, your dynasty wide receiver, and tight end buy low, sell high. But one of the guys that was on my sell high list is now higher on my sell high list. We're going to deep dive into that in just a few minutes. Make sure if you need to get any information to us, you can reach us at thegospelstp@gmail. Make sure you follow us on YouTube at thegospelstp. And let's go ahead and hop right into it. So we both saw the news. You have him in one league, in one dynasty league. I have him in another. Stefon Diggs has been traded from the Buffalo Bills to the Texans. So my guy, my Buckeye, CJ Stroud, has another weapon to play with. What's the fallout here? Well, actually, let's start with, did you see this coming? And if you saw him being traded, did you see the Texans being one of the likely pursuers of Diggs?
Well, yeah, I think the writing was on the wall as far as him being moved. It's funny that AB, out of all people, spoke on this almost close to about a month ago. Let's say about 3 weeks ago. He had a prediction where he said Stefon Diggs would be traded to the Houston Texans, and so a lot of
Oh,
people,
I didn't see. So he named the team. I didn't even see that.
yeah, put him in uniform and everything. You know what I mean? So
Hey, so quick
AB
sidebar.
got this thing on. It's
Antonio Brown.
called.
Look, I'm just about to say that. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Antonio
AB got.
Brown is dialed in.
Yeah,
This
he's
is like
he's
the
been
second
right.
or third time.
Yeah, yeah. So it's called CTE SPN, right?
Right.
For the handle on X, if you want to call it that now. But he predicted this. Everyone know Houston was in the market for a wide receiver. They've been shopping
Mhm.
around, trying to, everybody think they already, feel good about their receiver room, but they wanted to add another one. And I mean, I think they knocked out the park with this one, bringing in a number one to go along with another number one and go along with a
Another
number
number
one
one.
potential.
Yeah, facts.
You say three ones in a way. I mean, Tank Dell has some really one days there. So yeah,
Do you think Tank Dell will be ready to rock, or did this move have something to do with his prognosis?
no, I think he'll be fine.
Okay.
I think they just putting all the pushing McNair. They're just pushing all the chips in the middle of the table at this point. He like, look, we had really nothing and won 10 games. Let's see what happened if we crank it up a little bit higher.
Why not?
Uh,
Why not?
because one thing about
So,
he's going to have that defense ready at all times. So to add some
yeah.
more on offense, really works out for them.
And they added a couple of pieces on defense too.
Yeah, I mean they got uh
Danielle
Danev,
Hunter. Yeah,
yeah, one of the better pass rushers
absolutely.
in the league. I mean they add some a corner as well. I want to say what's my man name off the top? Mm,
I can't even remember the
can't
corner
remember
they
right
added.
off, but pretty solid corner as well to go along with Stingley. So
Mhm.
yeah, I think the AFC has just gotten a real like they're one of the real contenders now.
Like real, yeah, absolutely. And they definitely gonna take the division. I mean, the division is like they should have the division for some years to come now.
Yeah,
The Jaguars and their quarterback and their coaching staff may be on notice right now because we thought that we may kind of be in their window. The Texans just kicked that door all the way open. So I
Lynn.
mean, it's going to be interesting.
This is the time to make the moves, right? Like I said on this show,
Yeah,
when your quarterback is under a rookie deal, that's the best time to try to get you a Super Bowl before he gets paid. So you can pay all these other positions, stack the box everywhere else, and then go for it. So this is the best time.
completely agree. Now, speak on the other side of the coin because he just went to a team and made them better. The team he just left seemingly has only journeyman at wide receiver right now,
But
and they aren't exactly picking high. So, what is Buffalo doing right now, other than having to free up cap space? Because the statement that you just made, they have a quarterback who's no longer on his rookie deal now, and that big extension that they had to give him, they're having to pay the piper now. So they had to get rid of a whole bunch of people just to make cap space. They have 31 mil in dead cap just based on Diggs' contract. So what's Buffalo doing right now?
They doing what they do in the playoffs. They putting a whole load on the quarterback's back, right? We see Stephon Diggs, these guys play well in the regular season, get to the playoffs, they disappear, and Josh Allen is playing hero ball. So it's going to be hero ball from week one now versus hero ball in the playoffs. So they went all in with, and it's all just a Josh Allen show. I mean, that's it. The cupboard is pretty bare. This move does a lot for a lot of people, fantasy wise. I think football wise, it doesn't make them a better team, but fantasy wise, so people are gonna get a lift. But don't be excited about Curtis Samuel and Shakir and Matt Hollins. Like they, no,
Just guys.
yeah.
I mean, so what's the fantasy fallout for Josh Allen? Because he just has got. I mean, I
True,
guess
but
my thought process is he's a lot more likely to get hurt because of what you just said. He's going to be running the ball
well,
like he's a
that's the
running
thing.
back this year.
That's the thing, right? So it's one of those things where you would think Josh Allen will take a dip fantasy wise, and he'll take a dip in one area but increase in another. So I think his passing yards and all that takes a big dip, but he's going to run the ball a lot more now, which is
But
going to
that
be
makes him more likely to get hurt. So
yeah,
that I mean,
he's built for it. I mean, he's a big boy. You know what I'm saying? He kind of like Cam when it comes to that, taking that punishment.
well,
But you're right.
true enough.
But he's not dodging nothing anyway. You know what I'm saying? He's not one of those quarterbacks that's sliding or, you know what I mean?
Nah.
He's gonna take it on. So I can see his rushing attempts is gonna increase, his rushing yards probably gonna increase, and his rushing touchdowns probably gonna increase. And also you're gonna see probably some increase out of James Cook out of the backfield where he'll probably take some more catches out of the backfield. But
Okay.
it's going to be one of those teetering things where his passing is going to be a little lower, but his rushing is going to be a little higher, which can make the numbers at the end of the day look the same as far as fantasy goes.
Okay. So you wouldn't panic then, or let me ask you. I know we did quarterbacks and running backs last week.
Mm.
Based on this move, is it a buy low or sell high for Josh Allen?
It's a hold.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, I think you look at Josh Allen as Josh Allen. I mean, again, he's not going to throw for, he don't have the big time wide receiver on the outside anymore as of now. We don't know who's coming in.
Right.
I'm pretty sure they're going to maybe draft a guy. He's not going to come in and be Stephon Diggs day one, but they do have a tight end one who has
Facts.
increased. I think he has moved himself maybe to the top five for sure, arguably a top three at this time candidate. So I think you look at Josh Allen the same.
And it's interesting because the tight end that you speak of was on my buy low list
Mm.
when we were preparing for this a week ago before all this went down. But we'll definitely get into the wide receiver buy low, sell high. Matter of fact, let's hop on into it. So we have buy low, sell high. Again, this does not mean that these receivers or tight ends are going to be cheap. Doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be able to get someone's firstborn for them when we say sell high, but it does mean that right now is a window in time that either you're going to be able to get them as low as you can expect to get them for the foreseeable future, or you're going to be able to sell them as high as you're going to be able to get in return as far as assets are concerned for the foreseeable future as well. So go ahead and throw out your wide receivers that you are buying low on.
Let me check it out. Buying low.
I got a few guys keyed up
Yeah.
that I can go to real quick on the buy low. Um, Jackson Smith and Jigba. I believe that he will now know the playbook a little bit better. There's a different style of offense that you can kind of expect based on philosophy changes and coaching changes and things of that nature in the offseason in Seattle. So he won't be starting out behind the power curve. And because of what he didn't do in his rookie year, I can kind of see him being available. So he's one of those guys that probably wouldn't have been available this time last year due to high hopes, but maybe due to disappointments from last year, you can get him a lot cheaper than what he would have been last year and a lot cheaper than what I expect him to be by the end of the year. Also, based on the current news that came out, Nico Collins. Nico Collins was a wide receiver one already, going up against number one cornerbacks. Now you have Diggs out there to take on the number one cornerbacks, and you have Collins going up against the twos. Not to mention the fact that he already has a rapport with CJ.
Right.
I really feel like the sky is the limit for Nico. However, you can sell the fact that now that Diggs is there to the Nico owner, go ahead and give him to me now for a lower price than what you thought he may have been worth because he isn't going to get nearly as many targets. So you can sell it from that aspect, but I honestly think it's going to work out better for him than what it was before. And it was already great before. And then last on my list is Drake London. He was kind of coming into his own without a quarterback. I can see him being one of the most improved players in general with Kirk Cousins at the helm now. So those are my three that I'm going to be buying low on right now. And I'm going to stash them and be happy. But also understand that if a premium is asked for them, don't jump over the moon. But if the player that has them understands exactly what I just told you, still be willing to kind of will and deal if it fits into your scheme and into your plan as far as dynasty is concerned. By the time, redraft rolls around, could be a different story. So we'll just kind of see how that goes.
Well,
What you got on your buy low?
I'm gonna go a tad lower, kind of based on what you said. When it comes to buy low, I think you should buy low on Tank Dell. You have a couple things working in your favor. So now there's an addition to the wide receiver room, which is going to make discourage some Tank Dell owners. And you can also make the play of that he's come off an injury, right? So I'll go ahead and play all that and go for a Tank Dell because I think he's still going to be a large part of the. I know it seemed like a lot of mouths to feed, but him and CJ Stroud did have a pretty good chemistry. And we don't know how long that Diggs is going to be in town, right?
True.
So if one receiver goes down and his name is not Tank Dell, then Tank Dell now jumps back to where he was, what we've seen this past year. So I'm gonna say buy low on Tank Dell. He may be a lot cheaper today now that this news came out.
Who you think is cheaper, Tank Dell or Nico Collins?
Tank Dell for sure because he's come off an injury.
Yeah. Okay.
Nico, we've seen, like you said, we've seen what Nico can do as a number one. And now he should have better coverages going against number two corners, like you said. And I think he's going to be the higher price guy. Tank Dell should be a lot cheaper with this Stephon Diggs news. But he'd be a good kind of stash hold. See how that goes out. My second guy would be Kevin Ridley, actually.
Okay.
And
I actually just bought low on him about a week ago in our dynasty league.
I like Kevin Ridley for, the coach did came out and said he's going to be playing the Jamar Chase role. So that probably went over a lot of people's heads. Of course, with a guy like D Hop in town, you would think that, but nah, there's like he's playing whatever Chase played in Cincinnati, that's his role on this team. So I think he's going to be the guy that's that they're going to pretty much
feature.
Correct. In that
and they paid him like it. So I mean, follow the money.
Right. I'm gonna say buy low on Kevin Ridley. He's my buy low wide receiver as well.
Okay. Yeah, I'm definitely feeling that one because a lot of people don't understand that roles matter. And the role that he's going to be in is a lot different than what it was in Jacksonville. When they decided to pass on the ball in Jacksonville, he did his thing.
Right.
But there were several games where he just was not targeted for whatever reason. So, yeah, I would definitely buy low on him. I did actually buy low on him for that exact reason. So, but yeah, all right, sell high. Wide receivers, sell high. All right, peep my logic on this. All right, I
Mhm.
understand that the Texans are a much better team today than they were yesterday. But Stephon Diggs went from a team where he was pretty much the only wide receiver to a team with a full wide receiver room. He was complaining about the targets that he was getting in Buffalo. I expect more of the same here. I love it for CJ because now he can just pick his poison. Whoever's open, that's who's gonna get it. But don't think that Diggs is going to go to the Texans and have the same treatment that Josh Allen tried to give him in Buffalo. And based on the news, I'm still one of Vander's lines. News is current. I mean, news is currency. And based on today's news, you could probably sell Diggs for a higher price than you will be able to for the rest of his NFL career. He's 30 years old, going into age 31, especially when we're talking about dynasty. He's never gonna, you're never gonna be able to sell him for a higher price. He's been a wide receiver one. You're selling him at a wide receiver one plus price. He can't get better than wide receiver one. And I expect him by the end of the year to end up being a wide receiver two, a high wide receiver two, probably coming. And when I say wide receiver two, I'm saying he'll come in right around wide receiver 13, 14. So the 12 team league is the standard. So when I say wide receiver one, that's wide receivers 1 through 12. He was wide receiver 9 last year. I don't expect for him to get more targets. And I really expect for Tank and Nico to have the better matchups, and they already have the rapport. So I don't foresee him getting better than wide receiver 9. I can see him going back to the pack a little bit, and there isn't much between 9 and wide receiver 2, which is wide receiver 13. So back in 1, front end 2 is where I kind of see him going this year. So with that being said, I would sell high on Diggs. Another guy I would sell high on. Keenan Allen is no stranger to injury. I don't know what's going to happen with their quarterback situation. They're likely to get Caleb Williams. He may have some rookie jitters, whatever the case may be. Keenan Allen may just not be the receiver that he latches on to. We don't know how that's going to work out, but I don't think you would be able to get more for him than you can right now. So that's something else that I would take a look at. And then lastly, Addison from the Vikings. I would go ahead and attempt to sell him based on the news out there that Jefferson may be leaving. Also, based on the fact that you can sell him on last year's numbers versus what he may look like with whoever is at the helm at quarterback this year, that may not quite look the same. So that's another guy that I would attempt to sell high based on what he did last year. So I have Keenan Allen, I have Stephon Diggs, and then I have Addison as well as my sell high candidates for wide receiver. What say you on those guys?
I disagree when it comes to Stephon Diggs, to be honest with
Okay.
you. You go around the league, man, and this is like across the board. When they go to all these wide receivers and say, hey, who's your favorite? Who's your top 5 in the league? Who's your top 5? Hey, Davante Adams, who's your top 5? Hey, Keenan Allen, who's your top 5? Hey, DK Metcalf, who's your top 5? Stephon Diggs' name is in everybody's top 5. That's
I
just
agree with that.
so,
Talent wise, absolutely, yeah.
and it's not going to change here. Look, sir, it's a bigger dog in them. Yeah, we know Nico. Yeah, you cool. Yeah, you had a good season, but I'm here. No different when Ocho Cinco was in Cincinnati and T.O. showed up. What happened? it's a bigger dog in the room, and that's what's going to be here. It's a bigger talent. Like Nico, no, shout out to Nico, had a career year. But this is different. This is Stephon Diggs. This is one of the ones. You know what I'm saying? So I don't see him. The targets will probably be about the same. I mean, we
Okay.
seen it. Don't think you can't have two guys and coexist. T Higgins, Jamar Chase. They both was like top 10 one year, right? In fantasy football. You can
Yeah.
see two guys succeed. Roddy White and Julio,
Julio,
like this, two guys can coexist. And this offense, I think,
Debo, and IU.
but even though Debo, you know how it is. And
He a little bit of a different animal, but I see where you're coming from. DK and Lockett. I mean, there are a lot of
Isaac Bruce,
examples.
Torrey Holt, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? I just think that the guy that takes the hit the most.
but hold on though.
Mhm.
How many teams have had three? Because Tank Dell and the tight end. Because
That's what I was about to say. I think,
Schultz ain't no slouch either.
and I think Schultz will take a little. I think everybody going to share a little bit, right? They're going to make room for the elephant. You know what I'm saying? But I think Schultz take a little hit. Um, Tank take a smaller hit. But again, Tank don't need a lot to be effective. This is a guy that can get vertical, get downfield. He can get 4 balls and a touchdown and have 100 yards. He's just one of those type wide receivers. Um, Diggs is more the volume guy. He's going to be the guy that get the double-digit targets. Tank doesn't require that. You know what I'm saying? So I think Nico can maybe he can get his 8 to 9. I think Diggs gonna get his 11 to 12, and it's gonna go like that. I mean, these guys, this is the new NFL. They're throwing it around. They're throwing it 50 times a game now. So there's gonna be some targets to get around. I just think disgruntled. Um, most wide receiver one diva, you know how these wide receivers are. They divas. Everybody wants the ball.
Indeed, that's true.
But usually they want the ball when they're not doing well. So they're not up by 30 screaming, man, give me the damn ball. Is we losing, man. I want to make a play. Give me the ball. Like, I want to try to make a play, help us win. So and D'Amico is one of the, he's a good leader in the locker room. So I don't think it'll be an issue when it comes to that. But
Who you
I'm gonna
got on
take,
your list?
man, this guy here for me, uh Marquise Hollywood Brown, man. Sell that. Sell
Okay.
Hollywood Brown. I mean,
Even
two.
and let's talk about the as we talk about him, let's talk about the Rashee Rice news. So
That goes
how do we
that goes
uh,
with it. That goes
it
with what I'm
goes
saying.
with selling him? That news is his currency. Okay.
Absolutely. Because he's hot. He's fish grease right now, right? Because it's the unknown. We don't know what's
Okay.
going to happen to Rashid. He's probably going to get suspended. With him be the new guy
Oh
in
yeah,
touch,
he gonna get suspended.
right? So now Marquise value has just went up. So like you said, you could sell Marquise Brown today higher than any time moving forward in his career.
True.
It's going to be high for those reasons. Number one, he's with Pat Mahomes now. Number
Right.
two, Rashee Rice is going to get suspended. Oh, the person who got the person who got Marquise Brown right now, you might ain't no telling what you can get for him. Ain't no telling. You might can get Nico Collins for him. What about that? You were saying go buy on Nico. You might can sell him
I
for.
I think you could probably get Nico plus, to be honest with you, right
Go.
now. With both sets of news kind of playing off of each other, you could probably
Right,
get Nico and something, maybe Nico and a draft pick or something like that for
right,
Hollywood.
right. So I'm selling that. Because the only consistent about Pat Mahomes is Travis Kelce. Other than that, this
Facts.
guy will spread the ball around. So don't think Hollywood gonna come here and just be the new CD Lamb. It's not gonna happen. Um, Pat Mahomes is spread around. Whoever's open, like you said, everybody will get a chance. The only consistent is Travis Kelce. So those
Indeed, indeed.
those three reasons, I'm selling Hollywood Brown extremely high. Um, and my other sell, it's not really a high sell. but sell Gabe Davis too.
Okay.
I'm not Gabe Davis is ass. Okay, just I'm just call it like it is, man. Don't get caught up in all of that. He's down there with Doug Peterson now. Uh, maybe somebody think he'll do something on this new offense. He's the new chicken. Christian Kirk is still better, still the best wide receiver on the team at this point.
Yeah, true, indeed.
So I'm selling him. I'm not even gonna get in depth about it. He's a guy I'm selling. And lastly, I'm kind of gonna go the. I want to go the opposite way. I tell you what. Sell George Pickens.
Okay.
Sell George.
Okay. So we don't think he's going to take the leap with having the better quarterback, or we don't think the leap will be higher than what you can get for him.
Right.
Okay.
I think again.
Interesting.
We speak on somebody that he's higher than you ever probably going to be able to. You know what I mean? Right now, Deontay Johnson is not in the building. You think he's the only guy in town. You see all the circus catches. You see what he can do. But he is a guy that's boom or bust when he plays. You watch him, even against Deontay not there. If he doesn't catch a slant and take it 60 yards, he don't do nothing for the day. Like
he's a bigger Tank Dell.
Yeah,
he kind of feels like he's a bigger Tank Dell.
hell of a talent.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. There's just too many question marks in the offense.
You know who he remind me of a little bit? He remind me of a rich man's Van Jefferson, and it's interesting that they just went and picked up Van Jefferson. But he's that type of guy. He's the guy that on week 1 you're riding high and like, oh my God, I got gold. And then on week 2, it's like, did you play this week? Like, what happened? Then week 3, it's like, dang, I can't believe I set you. You went off again. Then week 4, you start him, and it's like, dang, I knew I should have set you. Like the
Now,
consistency ain't there.
I'm not saying, hey, he's horrible, he's trash, nothing like that.
No.
They sell. I just think you can get a lot more for your buck at this moment for a player like that, and get that same. For instance, in a dynasty league, let me ask you a question: if you was would you take Cooper Kupp and maybe a second round pick for Pickens?
If I'm in win now mode, yeah. If I'm in win now mode. But if I'm building, no. Because by the time I'm ready to win, Kupp will be done.
Or maybe Cooper Kupp and pick 10 in the first round.
Sure, because this is a deep wide receiver draft. I feel like I can get that same guy plus have Kupp by having pick 10. So yeah, that makes sense to me.
That's what I'm saying. So I think there's going to be some people there that look at situations like that and be for it. So that's what I mean. Situations like that, I'm okay with selling a guy like Pickens.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Let's move on over to tight ends. Buy low tight ends. My 3 tight ends: Kyle Pitts, Mike Gesicki, Dalton Kincaid. Pitt's quarterback situation has changed, and now he has a quarterback that does not run the ball and has always loved the tight end. I think this is the best situation that Pitts could have asked for. And they really still don't have a dominant wide receiver too. So I can still see him being the second best pass catcher, maybe tied with the running back. But as far as actual receiving positions are concerned, I can see him being the second best out there. I don't see Darnell Mooney holding a candle to him, especially in the red zone. Mike Gesicki, Cincinnati likes to utilize the tight end position, and he's pretty much the only game in town now. So again, he has a quarterback who likes to use that tight end position and also likes to go to the tight end in the red zone. However, they didn't have the guy to go to prior to him getting there. So I could see you getting Mike G almost free. and, take a flyer, see what happens. And Dalton Kincaid, we just talked about Buffalo. Kincaid may actually be the best pass catcher they have on the team right now. I mean, Curtis Samuel is good. He's a Swiss Army knife type of a guy. He can do a little bit of everything. But as far as just a pure pass catcher, Kincaid might be the highest on the list. They only have $4 million in cap space, so they aren't going to be able to do anything drastic in free agency, and there aren't really many free agent wide receivers out there to speak on. And you can't necessarily trust rookie wide receivers year one to be on the same page with the quarterback. So this is a guy that can be a Sam Laporta type going into this year. Humble opinion. So those are my guys I would buy low on as far as tight end is concerned.
Let me be honest with you. I don't know if you can really buy low right now because everybody gonna see the play coming. You talk about Kincaid.
You can buy lower today than you will be able to by week 2, week 3 when everyone actually sees it. Is how I'm looking at it. And I had him on my list last week when but before this happened today too.
I think it'd be hard to buy right now because everybody see it's big news and everybody see it coming. Like, oh no, I'm gonna keep Kincaid now. You know what I'm saying? So I think he's hard to buy. I think Trey McBride is gonna be hard to buy.
Or do I push him over to the sell high side?
No.
Okay.
Don't sell
okay.
him. I think it's gonna be hard to buy. Like I said, I like Trey McBride, which I think is gonna be hard to buy. You know what I mean? He's a guy I would say buy low, but he probably gonna be hard to buy. But I mean, he's as you can see, when inserted, he was a target hog. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And Kyler Murray,
he was double-digit targets.
Right. Kyler Murray, they had a really good rapport. So again, I tell you what you could do is to trade for some reason, guys like Hockenson, his name is bigger than a guy like Trey McBride. But I think
you can get McBride plus for Hockenson for sure.
Right. I'd rather have McBride than Hockenson. You know what I mean? If you're the Hockenson owner who finished like 4th last year, I think in fantasy football. But I'd rather have McBride going into this new season with their new quarterback situation and with the quarterback situation that McBride has. You know what I mean? So things like that. So I don't really want to say buy low because I think right now in the tight end world, it's kind of hard to buy. And my guys would be McBride, Kincaid as well, and David Njoku. I think he's a guy like Ronnie Dangerfield. You know what I mean? He's not appreciated. You know what I mean? The name, he's not that sexy, but as far as the numbers, when you look up, he does well. But if you dig in deep, Juwan Johnson, man, New Orleans Saints.
Facts. Yeah.
That really, really sleep on, and he's at the bottom of the barrel, finished low, but he has a lot of potential going to year 2 with second year with David Carr, right? So I like a guy like him if you're digging really, really deep on the buy side.
Sell high for me, Evan Ingram, Travis Kelce, and Cole Kmet. Evan Ingram, because this has been like one of the last couple of years, he's found a way to stay healthy. Prior to that, he just kind of was always on the mend. And I don't know which direction that may take. I'm selling him on the news and on the fact that they moved on from Ridley, so he may be able to get a few more targets. I want to try to get as much for him as I can while I can. Travis Kelce is going to be 34 years old. Kansas City mess around and get that three-peat. I honestly think that the chance at a three-peat is the only reason why he's coming back.
Let me ask you a quick question.
Yeah.
I don't want to cut you off. Do you think if somebody that owns McBride, if you was to send them Kelce, you think they'll take it?
Yeah, they would. Because of the name. Here's the thing. They may hit accept real quick and then be like, oh, crap, what did I just do? I just gave up a guy that's going to be a star tight end for the next 10 years for a guy that has a year left.
Well, that's what you should do.
We got to remember, the two Kelce brothers talked about for years retiring at the same time. I really believe that if not for the opportunity to try to three-peat, which has never been done in the NFL before, I don't think he'd be back. I really don't.
I think that's what you should do.
So I mean, I
Kelsey,
mean, yeah.
I think you should do that. I think you should try it.
Matter of fact, I do the same thing with I don't know if you'll be able to get Kincaid, but I tried that well. I mean, there's a few young tight ends that I would, and here's the thing. If they happen to be on a team that's in win now mode, it may actually make sense for that other person too. It may not be a mistake that they hit accept because they're trying to win the championship this year.
Right.
So, I mean, it could work out for both parties as far as that's concerned. Um, and Cole Kmet, he was one of Phil's favorite targets. We don't know who Caleb Williams is going to like. And not only that, but when he was one of Phil's favorite targets, he was one of the only pass catchers. They have a plethora of pass catchers now. So again, we don't know who Caleb Williams is going to latch on to. We don't know if Caleb Williams is going to be good. I wish the young man all the success in the world, but we've seen number one overall quarterbacks before end up washing out or not being as good as projected or not being good as quickly as we thought that they could be. So I don't know that he'll be able to sustain several wide receivers and a tight end as far as fantasy is concerned. So Cole Kmet will be another guy that I would attempt to sell right now based on what he did last year versus hoping that he'll continue to have that same trend going into this year.
Oh, so I want to say this. I agree with you with the Kelsey thing. I definitely, and I disagree with you when it comes to Ingram. Do not sell no
Okay.
Ingram. Yo, let me tell you one thing about you. You are like the injury guy. These guys that have issues, and Debo Samuel's one of them. Ingram's one of them.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, like you that guy, like, oh man, he gonna mess around and get hurt. Like, bro, Ingram
And they
just
normally do.
don't sell Ingram, y'all. Don't do it. Doug Peterson has never had a tight end finish like less than 5.
I don't think Doug Peterson is going to be around after this year. We talking about dynasty.
Well, until he's no longer around, then I'm keeping him. He just
But then
finished
you can't
second.
sell high.
He just finished second. He just finished second. Why would you sell that? And he's 29 years old. Why would you sell
Selling
it?
high. That's what I mean. I don't foresee him ever finishing that high again. Ever.
But the year before he's what? Like 5?
He might have been 5 or 6.
Yeah.
Matter of
He's
fact, that was
always
his contract year, if I'm not mistaken.
Don't do it.
He due for a long-term injury.
I would sell, and it's not gonna be high, but I would sell Isaiah Likely. Based on people thinking that, Mark Andrews is probably a step away from getting out of here, and then you see, so Isaiah Likely will be a guy I would like to sell at the tight end position. It's not going to be high, but he's definitely a sell for me.
Okay.
Another sell I would say would be Dalton Schultz. And that's due to the news, right?
Okay.
He finished 10 last year, and now Diggs is in the house. So that means
So do you think you're actually going to be able to sell high on him then? Or are you just saying sell in general on this guy?
sell, yeah, because I think it's high. When you use the word high, there's on this and the word tight end and high, there's only going to be certain guys that can even be sold high.
Okay.
Right. So Kelsey probably be one of them. You know what I'm saying? There's not many guys you can say. Hell, if you got Darren Waller on your team, sell him. He's another guy because he's this close to retiring.
I don't know that he plays this year. If somebody is willing to let me give you a bit of dynasty advice. Don't be, how would I say? Don't be so stuck on your own players that you can't see the forest for the trees. Please get rid of these guys that are unlikely to do. I don't care if somebody offered me a second or high third round pick for Darren Waller. I'm taking it and I'm getting out of Dodge.
Right.
Like, please don't think just because they're on your team they're better than what they are. So many people fall into that trap where they value guys that should be on the trash heap out there in the waiver wire world, and you just keeping them on your team because they on your team versus having space for these rookies that are about to not be drafted because all of them can't be drafted in the rookie draft. Like open up that space. Be ready for some of these drops that are going to take place. Right before the rookie draft is normally when most commissioners say, okay, you got to have a valid roster before the draft takes place. So if you're over on any spot or guys that were on the taxi going into the year, you got to put them on your active roster or you have to drop them or whatever the case is going to be. Already be ready already, because the last thing you want is for that guy to get dropped that, piques your interest. But now you're sitting here trying to make a pimp decision and you take 2 minutes too long, and somebody like Vander, you see you see the notification saying a roster move has been made. And now you go and check and see, and it's all like, oh, that's the guy that I wanted. But somebody gonna be Johnny on the spot. Let that person be you. Already have the guys off of the team that you're gonna drop for someone else that's better anyway. It just makes life a whole lot easier because you're gonna talk yourself into thinking that it's gonna be champagne wishes and caviar dreams, and you're really in the back of your mind hoping that you never have to start that guy anyway. Get rid of him if you can't. If you can't trade him, drop him. Go ahead and do what you got to do.
Right. Right now, I'll take a 3rd round pick for Waller. I mean,
Yeah,
just don't
easily.
get cute with the offer. Just try to get a pick for him. You know what I'm saying? Because his heart not in it. If he already at that point where he's like, I'll go ahead and make the move before anything comes out. Especially when to a tight end needy team. So if somebody already has tight end issues, I got Darren Waller for a 3rd round pick, bro. Here you go. Cool. And do the
Sell
move
the name
and let him hold them. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. It acts absolutely exactly, because tight ends, other than the well-known ones, don't normally go high in drafts anyway. Some of the tight ends that are starting right now, you could have got off the waiver wires last year before last, when at the end of some of these rookie drafts. So, any honorable mentions that you got?
As far as the sell,
Yeah, sell or buy.
hmm. Uh, Tyler Higbee.
Higbee. Okay.
Sell him.
Okay. Okay. I was
If
about to ask,
somebody
is
if
he a
somebody
sell
want
or
if somebody want to buy it, you know what I'm
okay?
saying? I would sell him for sure. I would sell.
Let me ask you about a guy. Van Jefferson just went to Pittsburgh, and Quez Watkins also went to Pittsburgh. With the change at quarterback and with them needing a number 2, do we see either one of them being worth the stash as far as a back end wide receiver is concerned?
Only stash is this. A mustache. Hell no. Nah. Jefferson
Okay.
he been asked everywhere he went in. Even when given an opportunity to be the guy to stand up, take the lead, he lost his job to a rookie from BYU. From
Hey,
BYU.
hey, but look though, that rookie breaking records left and right. I don't care what school he came from. Puka Nacua came in wrecking shop.
Nah, I mean, shout out to Puka, he cool, but it was he just landed in the right place. If Puka would have went
True.
to the Cowboys, or he'd have went to the
I feel you.
Dolphins, or he'd have went to the New England Patriots, he wouldn't have been Puka. He'd have been just some regular another wide receiver in the room. But he went to a place, McVay has that system in place. We all know what he did with Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods, and
Right.
that man got Jefferson had the opportunity to be the other guy. He didn't take it by the reins. Got moved to Atlanta. Who gives a damn? Didn't do nothing. Now he's going to Pittsburgh. Is any one of these guys even better than Calvin Austin? I mean, he's
Oh
a guy.
no, Calvin Austin will definitely be the starter in the slot, but the other outside position,
No,
outside wide receiver position.
no. They probably draft another wide receiver, knowing the Pittsburgh
Okay.
Steelers. He good at that.
And they are very good at that. So yeah, I wouldn't put it
They're
past
gonna
them.
be drafting George Pickens' replacement in this draft. That's just how they do it. You know what I mean? It'll be the next guy coming in, and then push him out.
And that pretty much wraps it up for this week. We'll be back to you with some more hot fantasy topics, making sure we get you ready. Look, the rookie draft is in 3 weeks. So we're going to make sure we build you up for that, make sure that you're ready to rock for your dynasty rookie drafts. And we'll probably dig a little bit deeper into these rookies going into next week, week after that. Matter of fact, it'll probably be the week after they get drafted, because that's when we're really going to know how we feel about them. We have certain inklings about certain guys right now, but the team they go to is going to make a world of difference. So, but we're going to lead up to that, making sure that we get you prepared for fantasy, and then we'll make sure you're ready for that rookie draft. But until then, tell the truth.